Hey, sister. So I guess it's my turn. First, let me introduce myself, though. My name is Victoria. I expected my sister to call me Charlie, actually. I'll get into that story later. But I expected her to call me Charlie. So I'm going to say, hey, Charlie. You made a delicious French toast. I do the same thing. So usually I would try what you've made and see how I like it and rate it and see how it is. But I make French toast all the time. I don't need to rate it today. That is okay. I don't know if this is something you make for yourself, but I'm making short ribs today. And first of all, I'm going to actually say sorry about whatever you're listening to in the background. My kid is listening to Trolls number 3, the band together. I have a 4-year-old and a 4-month-old, so this is the 4-month-old talking to me right now.
We can show you fish.
Alright, mommy's gotta cook. Bye-bye. I'm also eating snacks while I cook today. I'm hungry. Haven't eaten much today. I'm also breastfeeding my 4-month-old, so I'm perpetually starving. I'm also on a weight loss journey. After 2 children, I haven't really lost any of my weight, trying to get back to healthy. That's all. My recipes will not always be quote-unquote healthy. I would say that in general, my goal is to just cook at home, trying to cook more for the family, just fresh ingredients, and then when it's on my plate, just trying to make sure that I am portioning myself, because I think at the end of the day, that's what...
Wipe it down. I can't see it.
You're not supposed to see.
I want to see
block,
it.
Block, block, block. We're gonna have a lot of interruptions like that, I'm sure. Get out of here, buddy. I'll let you know when I need you. Sorry. So anyway, we're gonna be cooking something fresh. Try to reduce, things that are fried, things that are in saturated fats. Of course, we're having short ribs, so there is a lot of fat on short ribs, unfortunately, but fortunately, because it's going to be delicious. I got these from Aldi. I do almost all my shopping from Aldi. So I'm going to be cooking up 2 packages, and I will likely have leftovers it'll just mostly be me and my husband that eat these. My son will not. He'll have chicken nuggets, let's be honest. So this one, which was 1.84 pounds, $13-ish, $13.50. And I got this bigger one too. Look at how good those look. ASMR. Is that how that's done? This one is a little bit more expensive because there's more in here, meatier ones. And I'm really excited about it. $17.86. So a total, this is going to be probably my more expensive meals that especially me and my husband are sharing, just the 2 of us, but I deserve it, baby. Fill in another B word and right there. I don't know how clean we want to make these yet, but we deserve it, B. So it'll be $30 total in meat. And then we will be using a bottle of wine. I don't remember how much this costs, but it's Noble Wines. I usually don't spend more than $15 a bottle though, so it's probably within that price range, but I do not remember. I'm gonna get cooking, and then we can kind of chat while I cook. So it's 5:40. Let's see how long this is going to take me to cook. I'm going to be using my Instapot. I don't remember if I've ever cooked these in the Instapot before, so let's see how well it works. I'm also not really using a true recipe. I'm just kind of wing it. I have made this a couple times before, and I know what flavors I like, so that's what we're doing. We're just mixing flavors, baby. You know what my sister's thinking right now? She's thinking, oh, your kitchen's never this clean. The mess is behind you. If you don't like the look of raw meat, look away. I should have told you that before I did it the first time, right? All of those vegans and vegetarians out there, I apologize for making this. This is not recyclable. It says it right there, so it goes right in the garbage. I'm obsessed with recycling. But anyway, sorry to all you vegans and vegetarians out there. It's going to be the one and only time I'm going to say this. So to all my future meat cooking ventures, to all those future viewers, please take this as a blanket statement. I'm sorry. Hope you don't hate me. I'm actually going to get this started. This Instapot has a saute feature. I don't know if they all have saute features. I don't know. But here we go. I also use reusable napkins usually. It's just I use just a small little rectangle for things like this when I'm just patting meats to make them dry. So again, for those who might be angry at me for using a paper towel, don't worry. On every other aspect of my life, I am being reusable. So, and honestly, I'm not like going obsessed with how dry they are. I really don't care that much. Let me preface all of this by I am not a chef. I am not a cook. I just cook for my family. I'm not going to be doing anything that is chef worthy. This is just for that standard mother, you know. Okay, so my meat is going to now get some salt and pepper on it. I'm just making sure that I get every side. While I am seasoning this, let me answer some of my sister's questions. So first of all, I love Kahunaville. My nose is running because of this pepper. I'm gonna go fill my nose. Pardon. Okie dokie. All done. Gotta wash your hands again. And there's my reusable towel. Huh, see? I don't even think you talked about the best part of Kahunaville. Kahunaville was super fun, but it wasn't just because of the cool shows and everything. It was the fact that we ordered our food that we likely wouldn't have eaten because, you know, we were kids and kids don't eat. The best part was that we had a arcade attached to it. So I don't even know if you mentioned the arcade, but that was what was so fun about it, is that you ordered your food and then you'd scurry off to the arcade, and it was so much fun. So I guess it's she ready. 5:46, so you know that took less than 5 minutes to heat up, which is awesome. And I have it on medium, and I might adjust that as I do it. Using kosher salt. It doesn't matter, just put salt on it, honey. I just absolutely loved the arcade. We spent so much money there. Poor mom and dad probably spent more money on the arcade than on the food that, again, we probably didn't eat. It was kind of like Dave and Buster's, you know, where you ordered and played. It was just a little bit more exciting because it was, you know, the theme. Okay, so these are seasoned. This is heated up. These are kind of the little swaps I do. So again, I am not a nutritionist. I am not a chef. I don't know all the things, but I do know a few things. So I do avocado oil when I cook things. If you're just doing like raw oil, olive oil, extra virgin olive oil is what you want to do when it's just like raw, when it's like on a salad dressing. If you're just tossing tomatoes in it, for example. This has a 500 degree smoke point. You also want expeller pressed. I did research on this years ago about what the best things to do. So when you're cooking, you want something that has that high smoke point so that it retains its good fats. If you do like an olive oil and you cook with it, it actually denatures the good fats, and then it actually becomes bad for you. So if you want something that's good for you, I like the avocado oil. I hate avocados, and I can eat the avocado oil all day. It's very neutral flavoring, and it's great to cook with. So we're gonna put this guy in here. I do get this at Aldi too. It probably cost me, I don't know, $6-7 for this. Sorry, I had to take a pause because my child was in here talking to me. When you get the short ribs, you usually have like a bone in the middle, and then like a squishy fat side, and like this looks like fat, but I don't even really know what this is. It's probably silver skin. The husband would know what that is, but it's like harder, and this is softer. So I usually like to cook. When I put the first one in here, I will be cooking all the sides, but when I first put it in there, I like to put the fat side down. The chef is probably watching this and be like, obviously you do the fat first. Or they're going to be like, why do you do that? I don't know. I do it because I think in my head, the side I cook the longest is usually the first side. And then I kind of like quickly sear the other side. So I kind of want that fat to kind of caramelize. I usually cook this every 2 to 3 minutes each side. Because it's on medium, it might be 3 minutes, so I might end up turning it to high so that I can get this done a little bit quicker. Because it's not an instant pot if you're taking hours to do it. If anyone's like, why aren't you putting that back on? I don't have to put it back on because right now I'm just sauteing. We're not pressure cooking it yet. But when we pressure cook this, while this dish usually takes me, I probably take 5 hours to get this nice and melty, and I'm hoping I can get this done in an hour and a half. So again, we started this around 5:40, so I'm hoping I have dinner on the table Ideally before 7:30, but let's see. Let's see. Another snack. So, fun fact, me and my sister call each other Charlie. I'm sure those of you who are around our age, you guys probably remember the video when we were younger of, oh, Charlie bit my finger. There was a moment in our childhood that me and my sister didn't get along. We're 4 years apart. So there were just sometimes a little bit of differences of interests and just, maturity levels. But when Charlie bit my finger came out, we both agreed that it was so funny. We loved it. We watched it over and over again. So it's something we bonded over. So thank you, Charlie, for fighting your brother. Because then me and my sister were able to find some common ground. And ever since we've been, in my opinion, best friends. Oh, that's been 3 minutes. Yeah, based off of how this looks like, I am going to turn this to high. Again, you guys are kind of learning with me here. There we go. All right, let's try that again. Choose Charlie in my phone. I remember my husband, when he first saw that Charlie was texting me, Charlie was calling me, who's Charlie? My sister. And he goes, you're lying to me. I know your sister's name is Angelina. I said, but this is my sister.
I said his name is broccoli.
Oh, are you going to eat broccoli?
No, he's not.
Okay.
He's just a fish.
Okay. I wonder if I'm eventually going to just make a TikTok or a bloopers reel of this all the times I've had to stop because my child keeps on coming in here. Oh. Anyway. Alright, yeah. That's what I want.
Can you help me put on socks?
Of course I can help you put on socks, baby.
Mom?
You're welcome, baby.
How did you get so strong?
Okay. Can I actually just say how much I'm so happy that it's bright again? Because it's almost 6 o'clock and I can still see the sun, and I'm ready for my happy era, okay? I'm so sick of the darkness. So it doesn't matter how, the order, just keep flipping it till you've done all the sides. Don't forget about the ends. The hard side, I do the least. That's probably the side I do last because it doesn't matter. Those boots are on backwards, buddy. Switch them. So another fun fact is I actually also try to cook FODMAP. If you don't know what FODMAP is, essentially because my husband has some really bad IBS, I just try to follow FODMAP diet. I don't do great on it because I still use garlic. Don't hate me, but it doesn't seem to be a problem for him. I hope. It is a problem for him, and if I stopped cooking with garlic, all of his problems would be solved. So I'm not gonna not cook with garlic. But up till now, it really hasn't been a problem. What really is something that bothers him is onion. So I will not ever cook with onion. I will sometimes cook with green onion. For those who follow FODMAP, if you use the green part of the green onion, it's okay. The white part is not okay. So every once in a while, I will cook with the green onion. Oh yeah, you see that color we're getting on here? Beautiful. Garlic I'll do, but everything else I try to do. So I'm doing like gluten-free flour. The gluten-free flour I'll be using today is going to be the King's Arthur. Measure for measure. It's worked wonders for me. I love it. This is the other thing I wanted to show you. Is the better than bouillon. Most canned or boxed stocks, whether they're beef or chicken, usually have onion in it. This better than bouillon has been the one brand that I found does not say it's got onion in it. So either it's lying to us or we're okay. So I don't know. I feel like once I piece this all together, I'm going to realize that I did not complete one coherent thought. So, but that's how it's like to be a mom of a 4-year-old and a baby. You just kind of keep on having to scurry and change your mind and change your thoughts, and yeah, it's great. It's fun. Whatever. Now, where was my favorite place to have birthday parties? I don't know if you remember this. So this was in the mall. We had something called Aladdin's Castle. So I don't know if you remember Aladdin's Castle, but again, it was just another arcade. Apparently that was my common theme. I just loved arcades. I loved winning things. I loved getting better at games, and then winning tokens, and then getting that cheap old bouncy ball that was 5,000 tokens. That would have probably been 50 cents in one of those gumball machines, but I earned it. So, you know what I meant to tell you before I threw everything out was the calories. So, okay. Let's see here. So, a 4-ounce serving size is going to be 300 calories for just the meat alone. It does have a lot of saturated fat. I think I did mention that. That's all that beautiful white that's on here. Again, I'm going to be a person who, on my hopeful weight loss journey, is not going to sacrifice good food. This is going to be a very decadent dinner, but I'm going to just be careful about how much of it I eat. I'm going to portion it. In case you don't know this already, it is recommended if you have like a standard 9-inch dinner plate, half of it should be vegetables, a quarter of it should be carbohydrates. And I should mention that the vegetables should be non-starchy vegetables. So non-starchy vegetables on half, because if you had a starchy vegetable, that would also be considered a carbohydrate, so that would be in just a quarter, and then your meat is in a quarter. So that's how you're supposed to eat to help with your nutrition, your weight loss, but perhaps diabetes too, if people have diabetes. And everyone's diet is different, and everyone can eat different things based off of what they've been recommended, so I'm not recommending anything. This is just something that I'm going to choose to follow to try to get my weight loss down. It does have a lot of saturated fat. It has 10 grams per 4-ounce serving. It has 19 grams of protein. So the saturated fat is considered the bad fat because that is what can clog your arteries. It's the unsaturated fats are the ones that are technically good for you, that are actually supposed to help your heart health. So this is going off again. It's time to flip them.
Mom!
Babe!
Can you open this? Because
What do you want to grab?
the tomato.
You can't grab the tomato.
Why?
Because I want to eat that tomato, and if it's outside, I can't eat it. Just reaching down to grab my snack. I'm starving. I think I mentioned I'm a breastfeeding mom, so I'm not going to deny my body food. I need to have the food I need to have the nutrients to make milk for my baby. I'm just trying to choose healthy snacks. So I had a couple slices of fresh mozzarella, and now I'm having just some, I think these ones are, I don't know if these are grape or cherry, but they are the cherubs. Again, I'm not being endorsed by anybody. I'm just telling you what I buy. Or feel me. I actually have to cook this in 2 batches because, first of all, when you do something like this, like a braised meat, you don't want them like overlapping. You don't want to cool down your pan, and so you don't want to have too much crowdingness. So I was only able to fit about 4 of these in here, just to sear them. But once I cook them in all the liquid and actually do the pressure cook, all of them will be able to fit in this. This is an 8 quart. I'm sure I'll have to correct myself, but I think this is 8 quarts. It was just a bigger one, is all I can remember. So I do want to show you what this kind of looks like now. That's the side that I said was kind of like that silver skin, if that's what it is. I don't even know. I only needed to cook that side for maybe like a minute to get that kind of beautiful color. But this is going to be all the sides. So I got like the fat side, I did the ends. Does it have to be cooked all the way through? No, obviously not. Does it have to be perfect and beautiful and crusty? It does not. I like to do it because I like to say, hey, look how well I did. I don't know if you just heard my son, but he just said, I pooped and I'm finished. So I gotta go do that. I'm coming, baby. So we're gonna at least just get all these pieces out. I'm coming, baby. I just want to get these in there. Again, fat side down first. I did not have to add more oil. And really, you really don't have to use oil. I just think that it helps the flavor. I'll be back. Don't forget to wash your hands after you wipe your 4-year-old's butt. Oh, look, I put my hair up. I don't even remember when I put my hair up. I'm going to put it back down. Because that's what I do. I put it up, down, because I just get annoyed by it both ways, both up and down. Why don't you cut it, Victoria? I don't want to cut it. I like my long hair. I'm a mermaid, bitch. Look at that. I want to just eat that piece. I'm going to just eat that piece. Oh my god. Oh my god. I love making these. So I got my second batch here. I did cook them a little more than the other batch, simply because I had to take a breastfeeding break. So Okay, so there's a lot of fat that came out in here. This I am going to take it out, and we're coming out with about a half of it. Make sure you wash your herbs. I changed my saute to low because I'm doing herbs now. I'm not putting any oil or anything in there. I just want to kind of put the herbs on top of all the little bits that came off of the meat here. And for the parsley, I'm just going to keep it like on the stalk and everything. And I'm going to keeping the rosemary on the stalk too. So I am sure there's a chef somewhere screaming at saying, why would you do that? Because this is how I do it. Okay. I'm going to do 1 bay leaf. You know, I'm going to do 2. I'm going to do 2 bay leaves. I don't have much time. Yeah, like no time left in this, but all the time I got going in there. A little shake of oregano. The thing is that if you so choose to put fresh oregano in there, fresh thyme, then that's fine. I just don't usually keep that sort of thing on hand, but I often have parsley and rosemary just because those are the ones that I like to cook fresh with. And someone's gonna yell at me, but I'm just gonna kind of slice my garlic into this because at the end of the day, this is gonna braise under like a pressure cook. So the flavors are gonna go in there and everything is gonna just kind of meld and melt together. So I really don't care if I'm mincing it. I don't care if they're big chunks or little chunks because the flavor is gonna be infused. And my babies. Is it safe to cut things in your hand like this? Absolutely not. Do not do it. How many am I doing? I'm doing 3. Why am I doing 3? It seems right. Will I add more than 3? There's a good likelihood that yes. Yes, I will. It smells so good, just like the herbs. But I do have some dry herbs in here, so now I am going to add a little bit of wine. So I am doing what's called deglazing. So I had the dry herbs in there, the stuff that just stuck to the bottom here. So I just put just a little bit of this just to kind of coat the bottom. So I'm just gonna let that sit for a second, get the herbs to kind of just slightly cook, just become aromatic. That's a chef term. This is the better than bouillon that I've kind of pre-prepared. Usually I do 4 cups of broth. But I really only got to like 2. Okay, so this part I'm just going to put maybe half of the wine in. I'm too professional. So now that I've got wine in there, just change this to a medium heat. I kind of want to burn off a little bit of the alcohol. I'm waiting to see how much of this actually covers the meat because I might have to add more wine and more bouillon stock or whatever to make sure that the meat is completely covered. What I like about the Instant Pot, and the thing is I always call it the Insta Pot, but it's called Instant Pot, so I don't know why I call it Instant Pot. Do other people call it Instant Pot? I don't know. But anyway, what I like about the Instant Pot is that it's usually quick clean. I'm just going to throw this in the dishwasher because we got a dishwasher safe one, and then the rack that I have the meat resting on. So it's actually starting to get boily. I don't want it to boil. So I'm going to turn that back to low. I am going to do a little bit over a tablespoon of tomato paste. More than I don't know. I like tomato paste. I think it adds good flavor to almost anything. Angelina, if you have not seen this, it actually does work out really well. But I've seen someone go viral, real TikTok, where when they used their tomato paste and they had leftover, they just got parchment paper and they took like a tablespoon, plopped it on the parchment paper and just kind of like flattened it out and it became like little discs. So they just kept on doing that parchment paper and then like a tablespoon of the tomato paste and then they froze that. Have done that, it works well, and then because it's already pre-portioned tablespoon, you just take this like frozen disc and you throw it in whatever you're cooking, and it melts within seconds. It's not even something you have to defrost or anything. This was looking good. So your wine is going to kind of thicken up a little bit at this point, and that's good. So if it looks like it's thicker, then that's correct. Okay, So we're going to now put the meat back in. The prep work is almost done. Mind you, I've taken care of my 4-year-old son from the potty. I've got him ready to go outside to go play. I have stepped away to breastfeed my 4-month-old. We started all this process at 5:40. It is now 6:40. Beginning to end of just getting the prep work done. That took me about an hour. But I had a lot of steps that took me away from this process. At this point, it's okay if they touch. I'm just trying to arrange them.
Cooking?
Almost done cooking. I have no clue how long this hasn't been recording for. I've been talking for about 20 minutes, so I don't know. Just finished putting the meat and juices back in this. I put it on pressure cook. I put it on for 40 minutes. It's going to take time to increase the pressure in the pressure cooker. And then after it gets the pressure, it's going to then cook for 40 minutes. And then I'm going to let it naturally depressurize for a little bit. So hopefully this will cook for us and it'll be delicious. Okay, time check. It's 7:45. I think I said I wanted this done before 8 o'clock, so we're also gonna see if it's even ready. We're looking for fall off the bone. We're looking for melt in your mouth. We want this to be tender, baby, tender. That's all we're waiting for is for it to stop hissing at us, and then we can go ahead and open that baby. Yum. Ask me too what my favorite vacation was. I loved Cancun too. I think that the swim up bars at Cancun are just chef's kiss, baby. Especially when it's not to sound like an alcoholic, but especially their happy hours. Because if you remember that the resort we went to, happy hour would be like from noon to 5, and I'm pretty sure my breakfast, lunch, and dinner was different drinks. And breakfast was like, I don't know, like a mudslide, because to me, I'm like, oh, it's got milk. It's basically cereal. And I want to go back there so bad. But yeah, I love the swim up bars. I don't know how different it's going to be being a mom now, though, because last time it was just about literally doing whatever I wanted all day long. I don't know how it'd be being a mother now. And that's how long it's been since we've been to Cancun. So it's been a while. So I don't know how we'll feel about it. All right, she done. Well, we're gonna open her up. There she is. First of all, ooh, fall off the bone. I don't know if you could see that, but that just right off. Oh my gosh, baby. This smells really good. Once I take out the meat, I'll put this on saute again. I'll put it on high. Get it boiling, and then I will try to thicken it. We'll see if it works. Mm-hmm. Oh my God. You're hearing the baby in the background. Don't splash on yourself. You know, I even told myself, wear your apron. You were wearing your brand new lounge set. Don't get it dirty. And yet, here I am. Bow, bow, bow. That's the baby. You see a lot of fat in here? So I'm gonna separate it. The reason my sister and I decided to start this channel is I kind of brought the idea up to her, and it was mostly because I was sharing my recipes with her, but I really never use recipes. I just kind of said like, oh, so I threw these things together, but then I did this. Messages were 10 paragraphs long explaining to her how I did it. I'm really eager to share the things I make with other people because I'm like, oh my God, this is delicious. You should try it too. So that's why I kind of did this, because I was like, I'm going to just start recording what I'm making so that I can just tell you what I'm doing, since I don't really follow a recipe and you can kind of just see it. And it would make it easier for me. And then we were like, you know what, let's just do it back and forth. Catch up with each other, talk with each other through it while we chat. And then because we're making recipes, might as well share it with the world. So at the end of this, I hope you enjoy our series. I hope you follow along, click subscribe. We're going to try to put out a couple recipes a month for people, get a little insight of our lives. We're both very busy women who are, you know, working full-time. Usually I am still on maternity leave, but we usually are both working full-time. I'm a full-time mom, and you know, but we both like to eat good food, so hopefully you can follow along. We will always likely to be doing recipes that are super simple, super easy, that will just maybe make you a little bit more comfortable in your own kitchen. Or maybe you're just going to watch us for who knows what. Just maybe the banter we'll end up having back and forth. Because again, this is only our second video, so we'll see. Never do what I just did. I just dumped the flour right directly into it, but that could create clumps. It can make it uneven and weird. It's usually best to dissolve it in just a little bit of either the hot juices first, and to stir it and kind of make like a paste and then add it to it. It's actually thickening up really well, and I just needed about 2 spoonfuls. So let's see if I can... I am going to add salt to this. Really good. Feel like it's missing a little bit of something. I'm going to add garlic salt. I tell you what. So this is a lot of times what happens too. This is why like my recipes aren't regular recipes, that I kind of just taste it and I say, ooh, this could use this. Just based off of how I feel. I'm adding garlic salt, but I'm thinking I'm also going to add a little bit of smoked sweet paprika. Husband, what do you think? He's just going to let me do it because he doesn't want to speak on camera. But my thought is that it's really good, and it's got some of those earthy undertones. And I am missing a little bit of that thyme, and I have the oregano, and I've got rosemary. So I've got kind of those earthy tones already. I got a little bit of sweetness from the wine, so I kind of want to pair that smoked sweet paprika with this a little bit so that I get a little bit more earthy flavor. Hopefully I don't ruin it. Paprika is a heavy flavor, so don't add a lot if you don't like it. That was the right call. That was the right call. This is so good now. Go with your gut when you cook, ladies and gentlemen. Gentlemen are watching this. All right, I want this to heat back up because these have kind of been sitting here on the plate. Bob Evans mashed potatoes in the microwave. That'll be my starch. That should be a quarter of the plate. This will be my meat. That'll also be a quarter of the plate. So essentially, the mashed potatoes with this will be half of my plate. And then technically I should have a whole half of my plate with salad or vegetables. If you make this, enjoy it. Make it with any vegetable you want. If you don't want vegetable and you just want the meat, then just eat the meat. Again, this will probably be 2 meals for me and my husband. It costs us a total of about $50, so it is a more expensive meal for us. And it's delicious. And every once in a while, just splurge on yourself. Because if I did buy this at a restaurant, I'd probably get 1 or 2 short ribs for the entire meal, and it would probably be $50, let's be honest. So this was super simple. I was able to make it at home. I started at 5:40. It is now 8 o'clock, and I stepped away several times. I breastfed. I played outside with my kid. I wiped his butt. So there's a lot of things I was doing since 5:40. So in the last 2 hours and 20 minutes. So yeah, it might seem like it took a long time, but if you are not distracted, it won't take you a long time. And again, I could already be eating if I wanted to. It's just I didn't start the mashed potatoes, and I just figured this can continue to boil while I waited for the mashed potatoes. And I think that's it. So subscribe, enjoy our food. Hopefully you cook something and kind of just show yourself some self-love. You know, you might not lose weight on the recipes we're making. You might not have that as a goal at all. But just nourish your body, baby. Enjoy food. Enjoy life. So, signing off. See you soon. And thank you all for joining us. Bye. Delicious.